Hello, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and this is episode 51 in my Automate Everything Minecraft series. In today's episode, I am going to be dealing with some of the negative aspects of the mod Thaumcraft, and that would be the Flux. So let's take a look and see exactly what Flux is. Now, I should definitely mention that I have upgraded my Thaumcraft version from beta 16 to the beta 20 version, so there are some things that have changed between the versions. So anyways, Fluxes, I have been monitoring a strange buildup of magical energy in the aura. It seems to be in the form of Dirty V that I have named Flux. It shows as an ominous dark bar on my thermometer. I now know that these purple puffs I occasionally see when I am being careless. It is Essentia spilling into the atmosphere and becoming Flux. Pure Essentia, it seems, should not be directly exposed to the aura. I'm not exactly sure what negative effects this will cause, but I have noticed that Flux seems to clog the local aura, preventing V from replenishing naturally. Picture it as a thick layer of scum on a natural pool of clean water. The local aura has a point at which it is filled, and Flux seems to count towards that capacity. More alarmingly, it seems to take precedence over V, and I suspect it can probably exceed this natural limit. I am not sure what will happen when the Flux overflows, but it's bound to be interesting. Okay, addendum 1 is, and to get this addendum, you actually have to, I think, accidentally open a rift, and I've accidentally done that right after I wrapped up the last episode. So this addendum says, note to self, do not let the Flux build. It is bad, very, very bad. If Flux builds high enough, it seems to cause a tear in the very fabric of magic itself. The Flux escapes through this tear, but usually raw chaotic magic spills through into our world, causing all manner of calamity. I should be more careful of causing Flux in the future. In fact, I should start looking into ways to neutralize Flux. And that's kind of what I'm going to be doing this episode. So right now, let's go ahead, and I have an area set up, and I'm actually going to open up a Flux rift on purpose, which is something you should not do in your base unless you're very advanced thaumaturge and you know exactly what you're doing. Now I have set up a little island where I'm going to do my little experiment here, and it's right here. So I actually have a rift over here already opened up, but let's go ahead and open up a new one somewhere in one of these chunks right here. How I'm going to do that is I have 2 cauldrons set up, and I'm going to start throwing things in those cauldrons to give me some Flux. Now, I already have some Flux in the atmosphere over here because, like I said, I have been experimenting a little bit, and so it shouldn't take too much to open up a rift. So how I'm going to do that is I have looked through some things, and I know the compact solar engines right here, they have a lot of aspects. So that's what I'm going to use to open up rifts. They're not too difficult to make, and they give me lots of Flux. So here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to dump a compact solar engine in this one, a compact solar engine in this one, and then I am going to shift right click, which clears this, and everything goes into the atmosphere as Flux. So if we go into this chunk, we see that the Flux has risen quite a bit. It was about 100 something before, as is this chunk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump some more of these things in here real fast, and okay, I just had a wisp attack me. Okay, so this wisp is awfully persistent, and I need to do something about that. So wisps are one of the negative aspects that you'll see appear if you have lots of Flux in your atmosphere. This guy is persistent as crap. I've never had one like follow me this bad. Okay, so I finally killed it. Yeah, normally they just kind of fly around, and if you get near them, they'll attack you, but I've never had one be that persistent before. Anyways, so what I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to try to bring the Flux up to about 1,000 in each of these 2 chunks over here. I haven't mentioned that this island is exactly 4 chunks. Obviously, 2 of them have cauldrons in them, and the other 2 do not. Oh! Actually, that's exactly what I want to see. So, this rift just formed. Rifts will destroy all blocks that they touch, and they will grow over time, and then eventually they should collapse on their own after the flux in the atmosphere decreases to a certain point. Anyways, what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to feed this rift. I want to make it as big as I can. I want to give it the best chance that I can to make it grow nice and big, because later we're going to do something with that rift. But anyways, I'm going to go off camera. Going to dump a bunch of these compact solar engines into this cauldron over here. And I'm going to see how high I can get the flux. And once I have it over 1,000 or so, I will be back. And I am back. I have the flux in this atmosphere just over 1,000. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go away, let that rift grow, destroy, do things like that. And in the meantime, I'm going to be working on a few different things, or I guess one way to play with a rift. And so we're going to have to go back to my magic base for that. Right now I'm suffering from some side effects from all of the flux, and that would be the flux phase 3. It's not a fun condition to deal with, but pretty soon it'll be worn off, and I won't have to worry about it. Anyways, let's roll up here, and let's take a look at the Thaumanomicon at a few different things here. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on this thing. So we can close flux rifts with the Causality Collapser, and I've done some research to get to this point. And so let's read this. I have studied the chaotic energies that form these flux rifts and have made an interesting discovery. These rifts, the rifts themselves, are inherently unstable. In theory, they will close naturally should they become unstable enough. And I do know that this does work. It takes a little while, but it works. But the laws of our reality make this highly unlikely. Instead, their unstable energy is usually released in smaller bursts. That is probably a good thing. The amount of energy that will be released should a fully unstable rift collapse would be catastrophic. I think that I have worked out a way to trigger that collapse without the rift needing to be fully unstable. In short, I plan on blowing them up. Seems like a good idea to me. Anyways, no normal explosive will do, however. I need an explosive that sends its destructive energies into more than the 3 normal dimensions. To this end, I have designed an explosive I have named the Causality Collapser. This pulsing red sphere needs to be thrown as close to the rift as possible. In theory, it will break down the chaotic energies holding the rift together. Unfortunately, my calculations suggest that while collapsing, the rift will release large amounts of unstable primal energy. The more unstable the rift, the more chaotic this release will be. I should try and make the rift as stable as possible before detonating the explosive. Okay, so I'm not going to heed that last part of advice. I'm actually going to throw this into an extremely unstable rift. Hopefully nothing goes too awry. Anyways, let's see exactly how we make this. It is an infusion recipe. So first off, let's actually get the alienus and vidium. I actually have the alienus already all made up due to my thaumium automation over here. So I have a jar full of that, but we need the vidium. Unfortunately, vidium kind of breaks down differently than the other aspects of V, because it is the bad one. So we can still get this from some normal things here. Not a whole lot of things, but nether wart is, I think, what I'm going to end up doing. So let's grab some nether wart, and nether wart provides 2. However, like I said, vidium breaks down a little differently. It has a much higher tendency to actually escape into the atmosphere and not be captured by the alembics, the arcane alembics. So we're going to have to keep that in mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to replicate this, because I don't think 34 nether wart is enough. From past experimentation, I will capture just about 1 of the 2 vidium from the nether wart, and the rest of it will escape. So that's not actually going to be enough, because I need 50. So I can duplicate this with some fluxed phytogrow and a machine that I already have. But I'm going to have to go back to my main base real fast. And we're going to have to use that machine. Okay, so the machine is right here. Is the phytogenic isolator. With fluxed phytogrow and netherwort, I think the recipe is something like each netherwort will be turned into 6 because we're using this recipe right here. So that's obviously beneficial because I only have so much netherwort. While that's cooking up, we can head back. We can start throwing some of this in. Okay, so I'm going to use this alembic over here. And I want to have about 50. You know what? Actually, let's try 47. Okay, so yeah, I was scared there for a second. I'm like, no, that can't be right. As we see the yeah, it's quickly rising. If we look at the dark purple part of the bar in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, it's rising awfully quickly, which is completely unfortunate. Okay, so I need to get rid of the alchema here. And then I also need some herba. Okay, so this jar is getting full, but it might have enough. Not really sure. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for this to separate all of its components, and then I'm going to be right back. Okay, so everything is all separated out. I have jarred it, and I have ended up with a little more Vidium than I actually need, but that is perfectly fine by me. So the recipe also calls for this alien nest that I have over here, so let's grab that. We can get rid of the herba and the alchema because we do not need them. And let's go ahead and jump up here to my infusion table. So what I'm going to do is, just to be super cautious, I'm going to throw the alienus on one side and then the Vidium on the other side. And then let's go down and start collecting the things we actually need for the Causality Collapser. Now there's one more thing I should probably mention to do with this infusion here. And if we go to, I think we'll have to go to the Arcane Infusion tab. I have researched Infusion Stabilization, and I think this differs from, this is something that is a difference between beta 16 and beta 20. I don't think the stabilizer was in beta 16. I could be totally wrong about that, but anyways, in beta 20, it seems that this stabilizer is somewhat necessary for the higher level infusions, as in the more unstable infusions. Anyways, let's read the entry. I have put together a device I am calling, appropriately enough, a stabilizer. It accepts energy in the form of RF or FE, which it uses to create an interference pattern that serves to smooth out the interaction between magical objects and the local aura. The effect is highly localized, so the stabilizer needs to be pointed at what you want to stabilize. It has a range of 8 blocks. The stabilizer has obvious benefits when used on an infusion matrix, but I believe many more uses will reveal themselves. For instance, I wonder effect it might have on natural aura instability like that caused by flux. Okay, so anyways, I've already gone ahead and made one of these. It's actually in the ceiling right here, and it has one side which differs from the rest, and what I can do real fast is I can wrench this away. And if we fly up here, it is this side right here. That's the direction it's pointing, and you can actually use a wrench to change where it's pointing to. Obviously, that's nice. So yeah, it's pointing up. It can use a decent amount of power. I'm not sure exactly how much. I do have 4 energy cells, resonant energy cells hooked up to it. So when the time comes, it should be able to pull quite a bit of power. And to power those energy cells, I just have some RTGs because they're, free. So let's go ahead and get started on making the things we need for this Causality Collapser, now that I've kind of explained what the Infusion Stabilizer will do. So we need some redstone. Let's get the things we can get really easily. So we need 2 blocks of redstone. And I'm going to make 1 extra of each of the ingredients because this infusion is very high instability, which obviously is not very good. So next we can get the TNT and the V resonator. Of course, I do not need an extra of the middle block because I've never seen it affected by infusion instability. So I'm not going to worry about getting multiple TNT blocks. Let's see, what else do we need? Aluminum and niter. Okay, so I have 1 aluminum already. I want 2 more. I need 1 more, but I want 2 more. So it's just coal into ignis, potentia, and perditio. Okay, so let's find... And niter, okay, so let's grab some coal. And I know for niter you need glowstone. And it's a very similar recipe, rather. If I can find it real fast. There it is not. There it is. Okay, so it's just Lux, Ignis, and Potentia again. So we need something with Ignis and Potentia. So let's look up. And I'm sure there's something. I just kind of forget what that something might be. So we're getting... I think I saw a comparator. Redstone torch might be something good if we... I'm sure there's something. Redstone itself is a really good source of potentia, apparently. I didn't know that. I guess I probably should have. I'm just gonna say, I feel like there was some really good source here. Can't find it. Let's see if I can't find like a redstone torch. I definitely don't want to look at potions because I don't have anything to make potions yet. Okay, so that's an animated torch. Fooled me for a redstone torch there. Blazing pyrotheum. What's this? Nope. Obviously, I don't want to use niter to make niter. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find something real fast off camera. Because I know I found a source before that has both ignis and potentia in good quantities, and then I'm going to be right back. Okay, so you know what? I might be kind of a moron because the coal I have right here is a really good source of ignis and potentia. Like a really good source. So let's take a look at these recipes real fast. Aluminum is equal parts potentia and ignis with some perditio. So we still need to find some perditio here. And could use pellets of RTG fuel. That seems a little overboard though. Gunpowder could be a source. I wish there was something that was just like per perditio, except for the shards. I guess I could use the shards. I mean, what else am I going to use them for? You know what? Let's go ahead. I have a bunch of them, so whatever. Just grab a stack. So I might need to be careful here. Okay, so I want to make 2 aluminum. So I need 10 perditio and 20 ignis and... Okay, so 10 of this. And then 2 coal blocks, I think. Yes. Not blocks, but... Okay, so this just seems like an odd recipe to me, but I think that should work. It's using coal and then more coal. Okay, it worked. Whatevs. Doesn't matter to me as long as it works. And then we need some niter. And the yellow niter is the base color, so I'm waiting on that to appear. Okay, so Ignis, Potentia, and Luck. Lux, I mean. Luck. So once again, let's grab some coal. And we need 2 more torches here. And then afterwards, we'll have some leftover Bestia. So let's deal with that with some slivers. And the 4 extra Bestia should make 2 Bestia crystals. Okay, so. There we go. I thought I had an extra niter. Maybe I don't. I do. I do have. Okay, so there are a couple, or one more thing I think I need. I need 2 of these morphic resonators. And I already have one made up, but let's go ahead and make another one because I haven't made this on camera. Okay, so the morphic resonator. Okay, it's pretty easy. Glass, brass plates, and rare earths. And let's actually make 3 of them, just because. I might need them in the future, who knows. Now I already forget what the last ingredient was. Brass. Brass, glass, and rare earths. Okay, so that recipe is something like that. Oh, I need some Ignis crystals, which I only have 1 of. You know what, let's grab some coal. Not that much coal. Okay, so we'll have 60 of each, so we need 30 slivers for each, so we need 60 slivers. And this should give us some Ignis here. Okay, so if we throw this in, there we go. And we don't need the rest of that crap, so. Okay, so now we have some morphic resonators here. Let's go ahead and set this table up. So I have the Essentia around. The TNT goes in the middle, so it goes morphic resonator, redstone, aluminum, niter. Okay, so it's morphic resonator, redstone, aluminum, niter. And then the V resonator is on the same side or the opposite corner as the morphic resonator. Let me check that the resonator is actually on the corner it is. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so let's double check that I have this table set up correctly, and then we'll begin. Okay, so morphic resonator, redstone, aluminum, niter. Morphic resonator, redstone, aluminum, niter. The TNT will go in the middle, and I haven't done that yet. Okay, so this thing says very stable. That still kind of worries me, but we're going to go ahead and give it a kick anyways, I think. The stabilizer underneath should be doing some hard work here. Okay, so I don't super like that. It's already kicked to unstable. So far we're doing alright though, it looks like. Okay, so we lost a morphic resonator off the table. Things can be a lot worse than that. I can deal with that. Okay, so we're getting the items going now. Okay, so we lost the V resonator, I think. Hey, we got it done. It was definitely a good thing that we had extra Essentia over here, because we did use some extra, because when your infusion stalls, when things get kicked off the tables, it will start to draw extra Essentia from your jars, and if you don't have the extra Essentia, even worse things can happen. So what I'm going to do real fast, I'm going to organize my inventory, and then I'm going to go back to the Flux Island, and we're going to play with that rift. So I'm going to be back when I'm ready to play with the rift. And I'm back here at the Flux chunk, and as we see, the Flux has actually decreased quite a bit since I've been here. It was over 1,000 when I left, and now it's only at 129. And that's because these rifts actually suck up Flux. However, they do come with a lot of bad side effects, like destroying a bunch of blocks, and eventually when they start to collapse, they will spew out some other harmful stuff. So what I'm going to do, against the advice of the Thaumanomicon, I'm going to make this thing more unstable. And I'm going to do that by introducing a little bit more flux into the atmosphere here, through the same way I got it here in the first place, and that is dumping compact... I'm getting burned. Through dumping compact solar arrays in here. And I can do that real fast. Like this. Okay, so... let's see what we've done to the old atmosphere. There we go. That's looking so much better. So, I think to get this done, what we need to do is we need to throw the Causality Collapser into the rift. And because I am playing with fire here and trying to make really bad things happen, let's use an angel block. Let's get above this thing and place the angel block down and throw this Causality Collapser into the rift. I really haven't played with this, so I hope this works. Did that even go into the rift? No. Wait, what? Why are we not seeing things happen? I'm starting to worry that I should have like right-clicked to throw it, because that doesn't seem to have triggered anything. This is not good. Okay, so I might have to make another one of those things, because that doesn't seem to have worked. I really didn't want to have to do that, because they're kind of a pain in the butt to make. Well, poop. Yeah, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another Causality Collapser, and I can do that off camera. And then I'm going to be right back. Okay, I'm back for one last try at this. I have another Causality Collapser, and we have this here rift, and it is ready to go. Now let's right-click this thing. Okay, so apparently that's the right thing to do there. Wait, is that it? Okay, so got another rift over there and got a rift here. I was hoping for some more. Okay, so there. This is something I wanted to see. They are, I believe, void seeds. And we got 10 of them, and that is something I needed. And I think I needed that to progress. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to skedaddle because there's a lot of bad things happening here. We've got 2 new rifts. Or is that the same rift as... Never mind. I only have 1 new rift. Because that chunk was still awfully unstable. Has a lot of flux still, so that rift should, you know, grow over time. And I'm a little bit worried about something else happening here. I'm a little worried that this rift is in 2 chunks right now, and that when one of the chunks unloads that we're going to have something bad happen. So I'm going to go ahead and chunk load these 2 chunks right here so that that rift should have plenty of room to grow. Anyways, I'm going to skedaddle. I don't need to play with that area anymore, at least not for right now. I just really wanted these void seeds. So let's go back to the magic area, check out what the Thaumanomicon has to say, and I think it's about time to wrap up the episode. Okay, so we're back. Let's see if there is anything to be said. Really? Nothing? Nothing? Okay, so I was really hoping to get some additional discoveries here or something, but apparently not so much. Let me try to scan these things again. I'm not sure if I assume I was able to scan them. Nothing can be learned from this. That's interesting. Let me take a look at something before I go ahead and call this good. I'm wondering if I don't have to acquire so much warp or something. Anyways, hopefully in the future I'll be able to do something with these void seeds, but apparently for right now, there's not a whole lot I can do. Anyways, so in today's episode, I made a collapser thingy for rifts. Let me see the real name of this thing. A Causality Collapser. I threw it into a rift. We got a bunch of void seeds out of it, but we didn't really get anything else. And unfortunately, right now, I don't think I can use the void seeds for anything, which is, like I said, unfortunate. Anyways, if you liked today's episode, give it a like. It's a little bit painful to make. And if you like automation in modern Minecraft, consider subscribing to my channel because that's usually what I do. Anyways, signing off, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.